So welcome guys, my name is Melina Macdonald and it is so exciting to see that you've decided to do a course that is completely different to anything else that you've done in the past. Right now I want to do a bit of a one-on-one with you guys so that way you can get to know me and where I've come from and how I can assist you in this course and what to sort of expect with what's coming up. Now, I'm not a mind reader, so I do have some notes that are over here. So, if I need to go and look at it every now and again, just bear with me. But what we want to do is I want to start off with saying, I want to make sure that you've ticked off a few things before you even jump into the course. So the first thing that you needed to have done is download what is called the Human Design ebook. Now with that download, you're going to have a link to go and get your design, and with that there will be a video. So when you go and you download your individual design, the information you need to have is going to be your name, your birth date, your birth location and the time. Now the more accurate that you can get for the time will help us to determine your type. Now that type you will see will be either a generator and manifesting generator, manifestor, reflector or projector, and you're going to have a video that you can watch with me telling you about your type. Now the reason why this is really important and why this is something you would have never seen before is when you do these, it's a personality profile. Okay, so this is really about the whole beginning of this entire course that you're doing, because we're going to look at the deconditioning. So what I want you guys to understand, and this is where I specialize in personality profiling, all of us have been conditioned from the moment that we were born. We've been conditioned for survival. And so you are literally living someone else's life right now and today. So you're sitting there and you're going, all right, I've either in a situation right now where I've been pushed off a ledge, and that could be that you've lost your job or you've been retrenched, your whole industry has gone under, or you've decided, you know what, I think I'm at a stage where I'm really going to have to pivot and try something new, because the reality is business is going to be changing very dramatically in the next 7 years, and we want you guys to be ahead of the game. So when you find out what your design is and you watch a video, this is about learning your type, and this is the first step to your deconditioning. And I'm going to have tips and tricks in there in those short videos for you to start taking note of how you are supposed to be living. Now, some of you that will be downloading this information, you may be what we call a projector. And people call you lazy because you just seem to need more nano naps than other people. Well, we need to know if that's you before we get started on this journey, because the reality is these projectors need to have a business that is designed around what works for them. Okay, and it's a common error that these people are actually living as what we call a generator. So the generators and manifesting generators are the builders. So I'm going to explain how this works, because human design is a big part of what we're going to be learning about. And of course, if you decide that you want to go a lot deeper, we can definitely do this one-on-one together separately. So what happens is that we have got the manifestors, and these manifestors are only 8% of the population, and they literally think and do, and they are the only ones that can do it. So all these people that just keep telling you, manifestation, just manifest it. Well, it doesn't quite work like that for the rest of the population. So they go, I'd like to build this building. Then what they do is they bring in the generators and the manifesting generators, and they are going to be the builders. So the builders, workers, doers. So their energetics are quite different. Then we're going to have the projectors. Their energetics are very direct, so they're better one-on-one and really great in a supervisory role. You'll also find that a lot of the projectors are going to be either supervisors within corporate, or they may run a bit more of a holistic style business. So they also are not very good at the 9-to-5 job, as I mentioned, but they're the ones that are going to come in and supervise on that particular work site. Then we have the reflectors, and these guys really are we'll call them a mirror. So they're like the peg that stands in the middle of every department. And for them, they actually can go and report to every single layer within the business. And they're only 2% of the population. So the main group, and most of you are going to be generators and manifesting generators. And again, you need to learn how your energetics work. This is going to be step one. This is so important, because let me tell you, we're going to take you through these different stages where we reset, revive, and thrive. And to do that is really about deconditioning. This is the most important part, and this is how I finally got it right. Okay, so if you're in this opportunity where you've been pushed off the ledge, it is a great opportunity, because now you've got the time to sit, to get quiet, to wake up, to envision what you're actually really desiring to do. We work out what suits you better, instead of just jumping into things, into the next thing, just purely based on this conditioned survival technique. And then we look at, then you're going to bounce back in an improved version. This is a new form of action that you need to take, because, like, guys, rinse and repeat, it really doesn't work. And that is what most of us end up doing. So my role is to help you with this deconditioning and give you a different perspective on life, and allow you to live as per yourself correctly, to be able then to take more risk. And this will be calculated risk this time around. So, also we want to make sure that you sign the declaration. This is really important, because a declaration is about saying, I am serious about this. I am serious to create change. Okay. And again, that is just making that declaration is part of that deconditioning process, because we're going to start off in week 1 with what we call reset. And reset is all about creating your dream lifestyle. And to do that, we need to really create a nice, clear path. Now, to get that clear path and to create that beautiful dream lifestyle, we really need to sort of dig into your feelings. And that can make you quite vulnerable, because most of us think that we know who we are and what our values are. But as I just said, we're living everyone else's life. You have been living, your teachers, your parents, your community, your religion, your friends, everybody else's life but yours. And I really want to get you on the right path. This is so important, to finally get you on the right path, to really get into what we call flow. And when you go into flow, let me tell you, everything changes. So to give you an idea of my journey to finally, at 47, get into this flow, I'm coming up to my 50s, guys. I started off at 17. I needed to move out of home, and I went into pure survival mode. It was a situation that I was in, survival mode, went and got a job. Okay. Then I went and studied privately, and I did a private course in photography. And I ended up going out and opening my first of 3 photography businesses. So I actually had 2 different photography businesses and a wedding expo. Now, the thing was that the businesses I did do with a partner and lost everything. So when we're looking at business, and we're going to talk about it further on in the course, I'm going to show you, and I've done partnerships a few times, and we're going to show you the positives, like the do's and don'ts about doing that, so you're really prepared to do that. Now for me, I went from being then self-employed to going into corporate. So I've worked for 3 of the largest corporate companies here in Australia. And I spent a good decade of that time working within the travel industry, which at the moment has been completely annihilated, and 130,000 of my old colleagues have lost their jobs. So they've just got completely pushed off the ledge. So I'm used to all the KPIs and call centers and all the rest of the stuff that goes along with it. And I've done various roles within corporate, including training and supervising teams. So I sort of sat there and I'm like, all right, I'm not really that keen on this whole corporate lifestyle. And at the time, I was on my second marriage. Okay, so I've actually been married and divorced twice, but also my second marriage, and my partner got a job in Tokyo, Japan as a lawyer. So I moved offshore for a total of 4 years and went into this completely different environment where I had been traveling there on and off for 6 years, but I really didn't know the language. So all of a sudden I'm thrown into an environment where I can't do my normal job because I don't have the right visa. I'm a female, and trust me, if you understand the culture over there, they're not very respected. You do not have a voice, especially if you're what's called a Gaijin or a Westerner. And then I didn't know the language. So I had to learn the language so I could get around and do the basic things. And, I ended up being a bored housewife. So you know what I did? I went and I did a double degree in business. And I have a lot of opinions about that because I can honestly say I really didn't learn anything new. What I learned was the fundamentals of the things I'd done in business before. So I'm like, all right, something's not quite right. So I came back to Australia 4 years later, divorced, because unfortunately it just tore our relationship apart, and I had to start all over again. I went back into corporate, back into travel, and I just, after 2 years of this survival mode, because I came back with nothing, literally, and didn't get my divorce settlement for 2 years, guys, I learned one of the most powerful things, which was resilience. And resilience is one of the key things to understand with business, because if you think that you're going to come out there and the first time you give it a bash it's going to work, I'm going to tell you right now as a reality check, that's not how it works. But if you're getting the right kind of guidance and information to fast forward, we can make this journey a lot less painful for you, because it's taken me 9 businesses to finally get into this flow and get it right. So I did my uni degree, I came back to Australia, I worked back in travel, and I went, screw this, okay? I'm like, this isn't working for me. Finally got my divorce settlement, stupidly quit my job, and literally just went on, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but let's now go study. Now, I have studied with all the greats. I have done the Tony Robbins. I've done all of his different courses. I've even crewed and done his security for him. I've T. Harv Eker, all about the money. Gary Alper, all about trust-based selling. I've studied with Dale Beaumont from Business Blueprint, Robert Kiyosaki, you name it. I've studied with all of these people and spent an absolute bloody fortune with lots of zeros. So a lot of the content that we're going to help you guys with is we're going to pluck out the good stuff and put it together so you don't have to spend a couple of $100,000 learning these little techniques and what does and doesn't work, because Gavin and I have already tested all of this stuff out and we know what does and doesn't work. So I ended up going self-employed again. I've done the MLMs for the side hustle. And in fact, the word hustle doesn't even exist anymore in my vocab. I don't personally believe in the hustle. So as I said, I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm going to come in a bit different because I'm all about deconditioning. I'm about finding your SWOT analysis, how you should be making decisions for you. How does your energetics work? Because really, guys, if I get you on the right path with this stuff, trust me, you don't need all this other shit. You don't need to go spending all that money. And we can get you on the fast track to working out what suits you individually. And it has literally taken me 9 businesses to get in this complete flow where no matter what happens, I'm actually not worried about where is my income coming in. I don't need to do the hustle. My clients come to me because the referral system, people, once they've done this human design and they've worked out who they are under the 15 masks and under all that conditioning, it changes their life so much that we can then put them on the right path to complete success, which I love. I love this. It's juicy, you know. And guys, it's so important that you do work that brings you joy. It's really, really, really important. Now, you know, so I've lived in Japan and I was pretty lost over there. I'll be honest with you, you know, slight hostility because, you know, I didn't feel like I was accepted. Couldn't see my value over there. Hence why I ended up doing the double degree in record timing, let me tell you. So, you know, I've worked in the travel industry, so I've been through, you name it. Let's see, the Iraqi war, all the Bali bombings, SARS, Twin Towers going down. You know, I worked for Qantas at that time. Ansett going under, which happened the same week of SARS. You know, the GFC, which happened while I lived in Japan. And it got hit much harder over there than it did here because a lot of the expats were, of course, making a lot more money. And so a lot of people that we knew, within law lost their jobs right across the globe, by the way. So, you know, with all of that sort of stuff and the fact that I'm from a mixed heritage, so my dad is English and my mum's Egyptian. You know, I grew up in a very, what we call a WOG or ethnic school. You know, having to deal with all those challenges have made me so resilient. And as I said, I got married and divorced twice. Trust me, I could give you tips on divorce. So, you know, going through all of this stuff, you know, I had to really look at, am I here to be a victim or be someone that's about solutions? You know, because this is about how can you add value to society. And when you look at the kind of business that you're going to do, you need to really look at, am I adding value? Or am I going to be regurgitating the same shit that people can get down the road? And adding value and living that with integrity and authenticity is the key to success for your business. So, you know, you're going to have all these roadblocks. So when we're starting with the whole reset, okay, and this is why I'm spending a bit more time talking about this, because the reset is about the roadblocks. These are huge. So what we need to do is we need to start the deconditioning. We really need to get a clear path to work out what's your dream lifestyle. And then, but look at all your roadblocks. And roadblocks for most of you are going to be triggers, and they're going to be things that set you back. So when I got divorced, you know, it literally, I came back to Australia with $100 US note. I didn't get my settlement for 2 years. I had no job, no home, no belongings. I had no belongings for 4.5 months. So I had to learn resilience. How am I going to do this? And what happened was it evolved me into another person, because I went, I will not be a victim. I lost a shitload of money over the years, oh my God, and even in businesses. And one thing that kept coming up was this money blueprint. So we are going to be doing exercises about money. Money is a big one. And my blueprint sucked. It sucked so bad. Oh my God, it has been the biggest thing that has held me back. Because, you know, when I worked through my questions, you know, what is my money blueprint? Mine was success equals failure, because I've been brought up around people that believed that people with money were assholes. Now, logically, I don't believe that, but it was imprinted in me. And I did not believe that I could create abundance. And the reality was I can. So, you know, I've had cervical cancer twice. In fact, I got it in my 20s and a couple of years ago. So my health was really a big focus for me a few years ago. And, you know, I learned how to do what I do and let go of the steering wheel. So we've got this thing about control, and we're here and we're always trying to control our journey. And what I do is help you with this deconditioning, is to really get to know who you are and let go of the steering wheel, get out of the car, get in the back seat, shut the door and watch the view. This is really difficult to let go of control, and I'm a control freak. So, you know, with all of this, I learned how to do this. And for me to be able to do my job and help you out, I literally had to go through that journey of what I teach for that authenticity and integrity to be able to help you out. Integrity is a very big part of my personal design. Seeing patterns is another one. And my pattern was my sucky money blueprint. So I looked at my money side. I had to deal with my health. I went quite healthy. I'm not a health freak. However, I did change my lifestyle and completely change my results in 1 year from cancer and holy shitballs over to my surgeon going, what the hell were you doing? Because, you know, your results are magnificent. So health is so important. Relationships are so important. You know, I believe the secret to success is learning about your love language and understanding that so much better. Forget your 5 love languages, that's nothing. I can actually see on your chart your literal song that is your individual love language. And when you get love right within yourself and with somebody else, let me tell you, money flows. Everything flows, because when you feel juicy and loved up, oh my God, everything is amazing. And this is what I want for you guys. Because when people go into business or when they've been pushed off the ledge, you know, money and survival instincts come up straight away. And what that does is it damages your relationship. So we want to change that. We want to change our perspective. This is so important to decondition and change perspective on how you see things. For me, I work within what I classify as the woo-woo community. So it's a very holistic community. And money comes up again there because they really are so, they've got this whole, you know, money is evil. No, the more money you have, the more people you can help. So I have no issue charging the prices that I charge because I know the value that I bring you. I know that I'm actually in complete integrity. I know all of the skills that I have to bring to the table that is in addition to all of the things that, you know, just doing your holistic, your one-off business. I bring a whole plethora. I've had businesses. I've gone through divorces. I've lost shitloads of money. I've had 2 people, you know, in my immediate family suicide. So I've had to go through all of that, and I've come out the other side with a completely different perspective. Okay, I don't have hate for my partners or, you know, just icky stuff happening inside. My adrenals are not through the roof. My thyroid is fine because I know who I am and I've deconditioned to put myself in this beautiful journey. So, you know, that is all the roadblock stuff. So then we go into revive, and reviving, so we clear out the shit, we've cleared it out. And when you get into the revive part, this is about your roadmap. Okay, we need to get a very clear roadmap. So, you know, let's just sort of look at, you know, when we're doing something, where do we want to go? That's in a line with our individual SWOT analysis, the strengths, and your purpose, which you can actually find that out through doing a full human design reading. And, you know, we've got to look at, you know, if you had a business partner, are you both in alignment? You know, that's something that has just screwed me up so many times that I kept going, I can't do this on my own. Bullshit. I actually could, because every time I got a business partner, especially working with family, don't recommend it. It cost me, my last time cost me $150,000. That hurt because we weren't in complete alignment. Okay. Have you done enough research within the industry that you want to go into? What are you offering that is different? You know, for me, it was, you know, I had this amazing business plan that could bring in multi-millions of dollars, but I released it into the wrong market in, you know, the wrong country. That was the sticking part, was it was in the wrong country. You know, then we're going to look at speed bumps. So speed bumps are your do's and don'ts. You know, this is really important. So we're now coming into this, you know, looking at your, you know, mapping and strategies, you know, the strategies of where you want to go. So we've cleared you out. We've scraped all of that crap out. We've started on the new perspective, the new way of looking at things, a new form of action. You're now going to try new things You're not going to do the same shit anymore. And then we're going to go and look at your business and we're going to go, right, what can you do? Where are your strengths? Where are your real strengths? You know, what's the thing that brings you joy? So research is going to be an important part of this. And I can, you know, like, as I said, I opened into the wrong market. It was no good. Then we go into the speed bumps of, you know, we're made redundant. You know, like I had a business that they went into liquidation. We were getting paid on a daily basis, you know, and that was really tough back at the time. I had a mortgage that had an 11%, 11% interest on it. That doesn't even exist today. You know, I worked for Qantas when the Twin Towers went down and when the SARS happened. And every time I took leave with no pay. Now, at the time was great because I could travel, but you know, like I had to take leave with no pay or it was possible that we would lose our jobs. So how do you deal with these speed bumps that happen? It's taken me 9 businesses to get it freaking right and to get in complete flow where I don't have to hustle. I don't have to work my butt off every day. Do you know how nice that is? Oh my God. I wish I knew half the shit that I know now back then. However, every one of us is going to have to go through a journey because this is what builds resilience. So it's test and try, test and try. But what we're here to do is to help you to literally do this at more of an accelerated rate by going, let us guide you to know what works and what doesn't work. I literally can see patterns in people's relationships and I can see patterns in their business immediately. Can see all of the holes immediately because that is my gift. That is part of my design. So this is why I really want to help you guys out. Okay. We want to really shortcut this process for you to getting into that flow and getting it right. This is what this is all about. So then we're into the thrive, you know, and this is, you know, yes, we're going to learn through our mistakes. It's fine. We've done them. We're here to help you to make that, you know, a shorter process. This is about working smarter and not harder. Okay. You shouldn't need to do this hustle. Business will not be running based on KPIs in the future. I'm just giving you a heads up. Within 2027, business is going to completely change. And if you're not bringing people joy, if you're not making people feel good and juicy, your business will not survive. Business is going to change completely. And we want you to be ahead of the game. Because if you think business is going to continue running the way that it has been, hells no. That is not the future. So, you know, this covers, you know, systems and tech and people. And I can tell you right now, my biggest mistake was not listening to my mentor for a couple of years and not getting a VA. My VA saved me so much time, you know. So, you know, this is something, you know, the tech stuff is so important in getting the right tech. You should not be paying $20,000 to build a website. Guys, I've had websites built for like $300, $400, you know. I now know how to build websites. Mate, $20,000 is not going to work. No. We're going to show you with our awesome tools how to do this a lot quicker. The other thing is about, you know, finishing this off in a whole and creating the right environment for you. So this is about your support network. This is about making sure that you've got what you need to fill your cup up to keep going. When to know when to step away from what you're doing and get grounded. Grounding is going to be a big part that I'm going to cover. Because, and explaining to you what grounding is, this is one of the most fundamental things that you will learn in this Thrive component, because it is so vital to make sure that you're clearing yourself of negative energetics that are around you. It helps you with pain. It helps you, you know, adjust better. It helps you think better. It helps you become more focused. Grounding is so, so important. So if I'm doing a recording like this and I'm in Blooperville, I will stop the camera and I will go and get grounded. Okay, because I know that becomes what we call push energy, and push energy does not help you at all. So it's about walking away, resetting, and stepping back into it. So we're really going to go, a lot of this work is going to be on you, because this is the secret to success. The secret to success is understanding that your business is your baby. You are going to be birthing something. That having the right environment around you is going to be key to actually having sustainability. To having, like, understanding your love language, and to having a relationship that is working holistically with you and your business is going to be the secret gold to your success. To deconditioning the crap out of your system is going to be more better than gold. The value is, guys, I'm telling you, this will change your life. So between myself and Gavin, we want to welcome you again to doing this course. I really want you to make sure you've at least started by finding out what your type is, signing that document declaration to say, I am going to make sure I do this with full focus, and join our little train into your success. So I can't wait to speak to you guys on our live calls and get stuck into this and create an absolutely beautiful, sustainable, new perspective, new form of action lifestyle to create a business that suits you. Bye from me.